Good morning. We have updated our test and so our practice test, and so I just wanted to give you two examples of some things that you're going to see that are not on the original video for the practice test. The first is question 7. It says graph the system of inequalities, then choose one point that is a solution to the system. So I'm going to start by looking at this first equation, or the second equation, y is greater than 1/2 x plus 3. And the reason I'm choosing that one is because it is in slope-intercept form. So because it's in slope-intercept form, I start with the y-intercept of 3, and I plot my point at 3. And then I look at the slope, which tells me how much to rise and run. Since it's a positive 1/2, I'm going up 1 to the right 2, up 1 to the right 2, or I could go down 1 to the left 2. Now, before I connect those dots, I need to remind myself that because there is no equal sign here on the inequality, that tells me this is going to be a dashed line, and so I'm going to put a dashed line through those points. And then finally, I need to do some shading. Now, I can look at that and say this says that y's are greater than that boundary line, and then try to figure out where y's are greater than the boundary, or I can plug in a test point of 0, 0. If I do that, I get 0 is greater than 1/2 times 0 plus 3. Half times 0 is 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. So I get the statement that 0 is greater than 3. And I think that through 0, it is not true that 0 is greater than 3. So I do not want to include the test point of 0, 0 in my answer. So I'm going to shade away from the 0, 0 or this side of the line. All right, now I'm going to go to the inequality y's are less than or equal to 4. So because there's no x in this equation, I'm going to come to the 4 on the y. And then I want to draw a line that does not have any x's in it. So that would be a horizontal line. Because there is an equal sign, it's going to be a solid dot, so I'm going to, or a solid line. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that solid line. And then this says I want y's that are less than 4. Y's that are less than 4 are down on this side. So in this system, that means that this is the area where I see both shading. And so that's the area where my solutions occur. And so when it asks for a solution point, guys, there's lots of different things that you can choose here. But I'm just going to choose something that's obviously inside that shaded region. So I'm going to come over here to -3 and maybe up to 2. And I'm going to say my solution point would be -3, 2. All right, the other thing that I want us to look at is I want us to look at the Desmos section, question 13. So it says, which of the following points here are solutions to this system of inequalities? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Desmos, and I'm going to type in those two inequalities. So when I go to Desmos, I type in the inequality y is less than or equal to. Now to find that, I'm going to come down here to my math keyboard, and I'm going to say is less than or equal to, and then type in 2x plus 1. And then I'm going to go to the next space, and I'm going to type in y is greater than. Again, that's in my math keyboard, or I can just use the keyboard on my computer. And then 2/3 x minus 5. All right, so when I see this on Desmos, I can see the blue shaded region is the answer to inequality number 2, and the red shaded region is to the answer to inequality 1. But I'm looking for the overlap, or what's the answer to both. So I'm looking at this region here. And so then I want to just test. Now I can look in my problem and see if these points are actually there. But I can also come over here on Desmos and just type in these points and see. It will plot that 0, 1. So 0, 1 is actually right on the line. And because it's on a solid line, then I would choose yes. That would be a solution to the system. The next one I'm going to try is 7.50. I'm struggling to get this to do what I want. 7.50. And so when I look at that, I see, oh, that's also on a line. But since this line is dashed, that means it's a boundary, but it doesn't include that point. So that would not be a solution. Next, I would try the point 10, 10. I don't see that point, so I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit. 1010 is, in fact, in the region that's both blue and red on mine, and so I would circle that as an option. The next one is the point negative 1010, and when I look at that point, it is only in the blue section, so that means it's only a solution to the blue inequality, so I would not choose that as being a solution to the system. And then finally, I'm going to check the point 0, 0, and 0, 0, I'm going to zoom in just a little so I can tell, but yes, 0, 0 is in the area that is in both of those colored regions, so I would choose that. So on this one, what I would answer is I would say I want the point 0, 1, the point 1010, and the point 0, 0 as solutions to my system. All right, guys, hope that helps.